Many freshers come to me seeking a job or career advice. I also interact with hirers and I interact with anxious parents who want their fresher kid to get a job. This video is inspired by such conversations. Freshers, I'm going to speak to you first. Know that organizations love to hire you. That's why there are campus interviews. But let me caution you about something. If you hear someone say the main reason for hiring freshers is to give new people a chance to infuse new blood into the system for energy, enthusiasm, creativity, diversity, etc., trust me, that is all bullshit. Not always, but most of the times. The main reason they want to hire you is the cost advantage. You come at a low cost, and that's the single biggest reason. This is true for most cases. Of course, there are exceptions, but it's true almost always. Now, despite the cost advantage, question to ask is, why do they not hire many of you or all of you freshers? There is so much work to do, and hiring all of you could save a lot of money, right? Well, not so easy, you see. Because you, my friend, you come with a lot of unnecessary baggage. And the limited capacity and patience and intent that organizations have to handle your unnecessary baggage is what stops all of you from being hired. Now, what is this baggage? Is it your experience? Is it your lack of skills? Now, don't be defensive. Are you now thinking this is a chicken and egg story? You don't hire me because I don't have experience. I don't have experience because you won't hire me. No, my bro. This is not a chicken and egg story. Freshers are not hired for some other baggage. Simple reason is organizations don't trust you. Here are some direct and probably hurtful questions that I'm going to be asking you. Rhetorical questions, but it will make you think. Listen carefully and make a lot of notes because you will need to revisit this list. The first question. If you are hired, can you work for 6 to 8 hours continuously with necessary breaks in between, of course, every day without peeping into your phone every few minutes? Will you stop being a scatterbrain? Second question. Can you keep your boyfriend, girlfriend and other personal problems aside and remain focused on the work? In other words, can you segregate your personal and professional life? Very important. Third, can you take ownership of the work given to you and not just be an instruction follower? Fourth, can you ask your manager or whoever you are working with lots of questions when you don't understand things and not always nod in approval and later on go on to mess up the work? Fifth, can you never call in sick because you had too much to drink the previous night or had a fight with your friends? You don't care about your problems. Sixth, can you be 100% reliable and never miss a deadline? Yes, you can succeed in never missing a deadline. Watch this video on my YouTube channel about how you can never miss a deadline. Very important. Seventh question. Can you respect whatever work you get and not compare it with your buddy who got lucky or is just boasting about his great work? This while you ignore all the others around you who have similar lowly tasks and worse still, maybe some of them have no work at all. They don't have jobs. Remember, my friend, you are at the bottom of the food chain. You need to climb your way up. Thank your stars that you are lucky enough to be present in the chain, even if it's at the bottom of it. I'm showing you the mirror. Question 8. Can you demonstrate learnability? Meaning, anything that is given to you, you self-learn without waiting for instructions to the T. Ninth and final question. Once you are done with whatever work is given to you, can you ask for more work when there is a gap and not just while it away doing time pass? Organizations love such behavior. Show all these traits and who wouldn't want to hire you? Think about it. If you have all of this, plus you come at a super low cost, why wouldn't anyone want to hire you? The little bit of skill training that you need and the experience that you lack can be dealt with very easily. Remember a few things. The workplace is not your college where it is fun and friends first, studies later. Here you need to earn the right. You need to earn the right to have fun. You work hard and then you take a break. You do the lowly job first and then you get the challenging ones. You need to be consistently reliable and only then will you be rewarded. You learn fast and only then will you be respected. Earn the right. ETR, dude. ETR. Earn the right. Let me talk to you about my own situation. As a leadership coach, I have my own business. It is doing well, thankfully. I am proud to say that I have hired 3 interns. They are indeed my 3 angels, Bhakti, Sakshi and Shilpa. All college-going kids. Hiring them has been one of the best decisions in my work. They tick all the boxes that I spoke about and they answer all those questions affirmatively. They may lack in experience, that's understandable, but they more than make up for it with their attitude. They are exactly how freshers should be. I'm very happy with it. Parents of job seekers, now I'll talk to you. I know you're anxious about your unemployed kid. You want your kid to get started soon. We parents always wish success and growth for our kids, right? I mean, that goes without saying. We mean well, we want them to have the best. But you have a different role in this movie though. So far, you have been saying all the wrong lines on stage. What I mean by that? Please don't go around pleading your contacts to give a job to your kid. Don't follow up continuously, morning, evening, few times a week. Don't be upset with the friend who you're chasing but isn't responding to your calls. And definitely don't be stressed about all this. If you're doing this, then I tell you, you need a mindset change. Your main job is not just to pay the kid's college fees and then go around begging for a job for your kid. Nor does your role end if the kid does get employed. Your kid is raw, quite ignorant, and maybe a little stupid too. But you know better. You know how the world works. Work with your kid on the 9 points that I spoke about. 9 very, very important points. Do note, if your undeserving kid is somehow hired somewhere, it will backfire badly. The undeserving kid could be chucked out of the job and will be terribly bitter about the experience, or he or she will lose self-confidence. Do you want that? Your relationship with the hirer will irretrievably damaged. So don't take that chance. Make them employable. Make them market ready. And only then go to your contacts saying, hire my chap or chapet, because this is what you will get. Don't seek a job for your kid as a charity or based on your past goodwill. Do so because you have the confidence that your kid is worthy of it. And for those on the hiring side, hirers, I have a different take. Look out for these 9 behavioral traits in your hiring process. I'm sure you do. If they tick most boxes, it's worth taking a gamble on these young souls. They are our future. Remember, we got our first job back then when somebody in the past took a gamble on us. And of course, the biggest reason, they cost the least. Take them and earn everyone's good wishes. All the best.